Hey everybody, Tom Sparks with the Sparks Media Group. Hey everybody, Tom Sparks with Sparks Media Group. Today we're going to scan this industrial warehouse room with the Leica BLK360 G1. And we're going to connect to it. It's asking for the password, which is on the flap in here. Try this again. All right, now we're going to open Cyclone, and we're going to start here by the door. Going to lock our screen, hit our screen record. We're going to click on New. We're going to call this MIG1, and we'll enable geofencing. There you go. So from here, we're going to our scan point at medium. We're connected. Did this already, but we'll do it again. BLK360. Our password in. We're connected. Under settings, we'll do resolution. We'll do standard. Imaging enabled. We can do HDR. We don't care about the images. We'll leave it disabled. Flash, we'll leave. Use GNS data. Try that, sure. Gain level, we'll keep it, I guess, low. Surface. Well, that's interesting. All right, there we go. Close that out. going to take about 2 minutes and 50 seconds per scan. Now, with the G1, it's taking the pictures first. From what I remember. And you can hear the LiDAR spin up. And here we go. And you have a progress on the screen. All right, we have our first scan point. So let's come over here and try to get another one. Click on the camera. We're gonna go back to settings and I'm gonna try a fast scan. So we got 1 minute and 40, 250. We'll just keep it at 250. If we turn off photos, it goes down by 1 minute. All right, so we'll keep it at 250. I'm gonna stand right behind the power button. And it should rotate a full 360 and then start. There you go. Now, I'm making this video to show people how to do a scan with the G1, but we're also going to take the data file from this and we're going to compare it to some other camera systems. So I will put a link in this description of this video that has all the data files from the different camera systems of this particular room, so that there can be a real apples to apples kind of comparison. Press pre-align to align to previous. We'll hit pre-align and see what it does. And it aligned it. Nice. It's about 8 steps or so. Visually align, setups, and optimize. Looks good. We'll hit optimize, create link. There you go. It linked it up. Now we will go on to the next one. Okay, we'll hit pre-align and see what it does. Optimized it, and we'll create link. There you go, just chugging along. I've done a handful of scans with the Leica BLK360s now, and they definitely get easier as I go and as I learn a little more about it. I really hated this camera, the scanner, right when I first got my hands on it, partly because I was used to coming from Matterport where everything just auto-aligned and everything was good. The version, or what they call auto-align here, is Register, and you know, I think I was scanning too far apart. These weren't registering, or maybe there wasn't enough line of sight. But this today is going surprisingly well. We're doing good on the battery, I guess, 90%. One thing about these G1s is that they do eat up batteries pretty quickly. I rent this out, the G1, and I also have a G2 that I rent out, and you can find information on www.scanyourspace.com. We also rent out the Matterport Pro 3 cameras on there, and we have the iGuide Planix Pro for rent on there. So several different cameras if you're in need of rentals. We do local pickup around the San Francisco Bay Area, and we do day rental rates if it's local. If you're out of state, we ship throughout the United States via FedEx, second day air or next day air. And we have out of state rentals available or out of local area rentals available for weekly or monthly rental rates. So pricing is all available online. All right, pre-align. Looks like it did it. We're gonna hit optimize, create link. All right, pre-align. Should connect to 163. I'll do that. Okay. About halfway or so done with the room. 22 minutes in. Hit pre-align. We'll hit optimize and create link. Right here. Okay. Well, this should turn into a nice dense point cloud. The client who manages this space often has a need for clear height and clear span measurements, which are width of the doorways, heights of the doorways, heights from the floor to the bottom of beams and trusses, roof decks, the width of the wall to the column, for example. And so rather than coming out here with a handheld laser measure and just taking measurements and drawing everything out, we can scan it and get a really accurate data file that I can send to my editing team and have them draft up CAD files. you know, I'm actually pretty shocked that we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scans, and we're still at 90% battery. It's been my experience in the past that this thing chews up batteries. I thought I fully charged them. Maybe the battery's not fully charging past 90%. They are a little older batteries. The batteries for these are pretty pricey. So I have 2, but yeah, I'm kind of shocked that, you know, it's not less than 90. I think I might grab a couple more though, especially for some of the bigger jobs. Okay, let me come in here. I'll hit pre-align, optimize, create. Do one right there, come out of the way. Now we're gonna time this. And let's hit the start button right now. I spoke too soon about the battery. Just that last scan, it knocked it down to 85% from 90. So yeah, we'll see how long this battery lasts. But we're more than halfway done. I just have probably 1, 2, 3 more scans after this one. I have to tell you, when you're sitting here waiting for 2.5 minutes, roughly, for a scan, it's like watching paint dry. So we have 2 minutes and 47 seconds per scan. Now you can see the 360 photo, and we can see the point cloud. For that particular scan point. We will make a similar video with the BLK360 G2, and that one should be a lot more efficient. They've made drastic improvements to the speed, from what I understand. If you get bored while this is going on, open up another tab and look up Mare Island in Vallejo, California. M-A-R-E Island in Vallejo, California. It's a former Navy base that I think was commissioned in the 1800s, and it closed in 1995 as part of the BRAC Base Realignment Committee under, I think, the Clinton administration. And they identified several bases. This was one of them. I think Alameda might have been the second one in California. Maybe Fort Ord. But anyway, this one was identified as one of the bases to be closed. I remember coming out here as a kid. My grandfather was in the Navy, and so he was retired, but we would come out here and go to the commissary. Funny enough, I could come through the gates to get on the island, but I couldn't go in the commissary because I didn't have ID. So I would have to wait in the car. But yeah, closed in 95. Vallejo, the city of Vallejo took over a portion of it, and I would come out here and do photo shoots. I remember right after 9/11 happened, they sent military police officers out here, and during one of the photo shoots, I got rolled up on by 2 military police, or maybe they weren't police, but 2 military officers in Humvees with assault rifles, wondering what I was doing. I had a camera around my neck. Not a terrorist. We'll optimize and create link. That one's aligned. So yeah, a lot of history out here, and I've been coming out here since the mid-90s. 30 years now. It's interesting. It's been a long time. Getting old. So yeah, I'll put one right here. Now, I think a lot of it is, a lot of this island is privately owned and city owned. And so there's a ton of businesses out here. My office was out here for a while. And I think there's, what was I told, over 7 million square feet of leasable space. Think about buildings like this. A lot of them are a lot bigger. They used to build submarines out here, do all kinds of work. So I've been in a lot of these buildings. I've photographed a lot of these buildings. I've scanned a lot of these buildings.
If you have any ties to Mare Island, drop a comment in the video. I'd love to hear it. If you used to work in some of these buildings, let me know. Growing up in East Vallejo, my neighbor used to work on Mare Island, and he would ride his bike from our neighborhood to here every day, which is maybe what, a 4-mile, 5-mile ride, I'd say. Well, this is interesting. Can I delete that scan? So weird. Oh, okay, let's try this. That looks about right. Okay, that was strange. Didn't want to line right. Now I've been aligning and optimizing these to the previous scan, but you can also, from what I understand, create bundles and align them to other scans. So if you look on here, I was trying to align 170 to 166, and I think it worked. I think trying to go from 170 all the way to 162 might be a stretch, but as I get closer, you know, down here, I can align this one to that one and that one to that one, and then this one to that one, and so on and so forth. So kind of create a spider web mesh. So for those that have the Leica BLK360 G1, I'd love to hear your best practices for scanning with this camera. How many steps in between scans do you take? I've been averaging about, I don't know, 7 to 10, just kind of depending. There we go, optimize, create link. Selected bundle is not optimized. Okay, we'll try to create a link from here to here. Let's create link. Selected bundle is not optimized. Okay, we'll deal with that later. So now I have them all linked. I'm gonna do one here in the center. Which is 10 steps from where I was. We're back at 90% on the battery. Now this center one theoretically should be able to link to all the other ones on here. We can probably do that in Register 360 when we download the data. But I think this is enough scans for this particular size room. If I wanted to be a little overkill, I could have just did a whole pathway along here, and then maybe a pathway along the long ways. But I think with the coverage area on the G1, I think this is more than enough scans for this space. After the scan is complete, we'll be done with the video for now. The next step I will show is the process of downloading the data and registering it in Register 360 and then exporting it and basically converting it from the BLK data files to an E57 point cloud file, for example. We'll hit pre-align, optimize, create link. Okay, and then let's try to create a link between these two. Pre-align. go, create link. And we'll try from there to there. Maximize, create link. And we'll go from there to there. And we'll try from here to here. It might be a stretch. It's creating it. So I think we have, oh, let's try these two. So we have them all linked. There you have it.
Hey everybody. So we're in front of the computer now, and I'm going to show the process for downloading data from the Leica BLK360 G1 to our computer using the BLK Data Manager. So we have the G1 logo selected. I'm going to power on the device by holding the power button. The light's blinking now, and I'll let you know when it turns solid. With the G1, you have to download it via Wi-Fi. There is a USB-C connection on the back, but I don't think we can download with USB-C. It has to be Wi-Fi. So it's still blinking. Now it's solid. So I'm going to launch my Wi-Fi settings and try to connect. And we're going to look for the SSID. I see it, so I'm going to click on it. Let's see, is that it? Yep, that's it. Hit connect. Now, if you have to enter the password, it's on the inside lid of the battery door. You have to put the dashes in order for it to connect. I've tried without the dashes and it doesn't work. So enter the full password that includes the 2 dashes. So I am connected. I'm gonna hit, I guess we can hit the magnifying glass. And this should pop up here. Here you have it. So there's a lot of scans on here. The ones that I care about are from yesterday. So 160 to 172. I guess I can go in and delete all these other ones. It's all just old data, old scan data. But I have the ones that I want to download selected. I'm going to hit download. And then we're going to make a folder, and we're going to call it MIG1 BLK Data. Hit select folder, and it shows us that our battery's at 100%, and we're starting to download. I'm going to wait till it gets a couple files in, and then I'll show you the folder where it's downloading the data to. Here's the folder so far. So this first file was about a little over 200 megs. Move this out of the way. Now you can do this with the Register 360 app or the Register 360 software. I've had some issues with importing directly from that software, so I like to use the Data Manager. It seems to be a little more stable for me anyway. I'd be curious to see if others experience the same issues with downloading data from the BLK devices. So I'll give you guys a peek. Here's a little over 200 megs, here's 200 megs, so that appears to be the same for each of the files. Okay, so 13 setups downloaded, a little over 12 minutes. Let's check out what about 2.51 gigs of data for these 13 scans. And next step we'll go into Register 360 and process the data. All right, everybody, we're back in front of Cyclone Register 360 Plus BLK Edition, and we are going to attempt to import the BLK 360 G1 data. I wasn't able to do it before. I created a support ticket, and they mentioned to try to run this program as administrator and import the files. That didn't work. They mentioned to import one at a time. That didn't work. Then they asked where the file's located, and that got me thinking. I store my files on a NAS drive, network attached storage, and maybe that's the cause. So I transferred over the data files to my local hard drive, and we're going to attempt to import them. So I'm going to select them all and hit open. And there you go. It imported them. So the issue was that I had the files stored on a NAS drive, basically a network drive. Once we have them all selected, we're going to hit import. Here it's trying to use the auto cloud to find links. Right, it says successfully imported the given scanner data sources, 13 setups, created 73 links for this project. That's pretty impressive. Now, I'm pretty new to this, but I'm going to assume all these greens are good. Overlap, strength. We could have probably placed scan points a little closer together and had this a better percentage, but I think we're good. Let's click on bundle cloud and we can kind of get a bird's eye view of the scan, or the scans I should say. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see what else we have here. Link cloud. Okay. True slicer. There's the scan points. So really, you know, again, I'm pretty new to this. There's not any alignments we need to do here. I had enough overlap that it did everything successfully that I needed it to do. You know, maybe as I learn more about this, we can go over all this, all these different features that this offers. But as long as you have enough overlap data, you should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is hit optimize bundle. It says it's optimized. We're going to click on finalize here, and we like that, so we'll hit accept. Now here you have a published report that includes, you know, all the information about the scan, the overlap, just a ton of information that I personally don't need. We can put our logo in here if we wanted to. I already have, you know, my information kind of here. I'm going to save this report and put it in there. And we're going to not call this. I think we're going to call this, let's see, MI G1. We're going to click on publish options, and here's where we can export to a variety of formats. We can export as an LGS file, TrueView Enterprise Cloud. I don't want to do that. We can export a PTS, a LAS, PTG, PTX, E57 as one file, E57 as separate, and a RCP. So let's do an LGS. Let's do an E57. Let's do an RCP. I'm sure we can include the setups. I'm not going to check anything here. We'll do a LAS. Give everybody plenty of data. Might as well do PTS. Alright. There's a lot that we're exporting. So we'll hit publish. And it's writing all the data. Here you can see these were all the data files from the camera. Here's the LGSX. There's the finalized report. There's the E57. Looks like this is writing all the individual files, maybe for the RCP file. Typically, clients have only asked me for the E57. But I did want to export all these just to kind of give some variety of, what can be done. I wanted to show the process. exporting these RCP files is taking some time. That's interesting. It made this PTS file openable in PTGUI, which I don't know if that's accurate or not. And it has a status that everything succeeded. You can see here all the files, and there you have it. We will hit cancel. We have everything that we need exported. So leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Questions are good. Suggestions are welcomed. I'd love to hear feedback on what you thought of this process. If you'd like to see more videos of actually exporting the data and manipulating the data, please let me know. I'd love to put out some more videos of that type of nature. But that's it. Thanks for watching.